I used to think that I know too much, but I'm not smart enough to use it to my advantage. I thought I was eaten by my knowledge instead of me utilizing it. And one thing I realized is that you see, like, those posts talking about this old philosophers says something that implies this, like, small people get depressed. Like, the more you know, the more depressive, the more depressed you'll be. And I completely disagree with this. And also, I am guilty of it, just like I said in the beginning, but I thought I knew too much. Like, I cannot control this, and maybe it's not like the kind of knowledge that I should be keep on like diving in every single day and researching. And one thing I realized is that it's not that I know, like, I completely digested all the knowledge, but instead I just know this like the surface of it. And most of the times when what the thing convinces me is that, like, let's say you just start researching or googling the stuff about a topic that you would like to study, but you want to study, and you spend, you read just a bunch of articles and related subjects, or like things like like sub subjects about it, and you think that you kind of understand it on the surface, and you do it like a couple of days, and you think that you kind of mastered it, or that the average people. But the point is, you actually do not actually like understand it, that the information hasn't been digested yet, like you don't know that much. And to prove, to test yourself, is simply trying to write in docs or whatever, like a note, like try to write it as if you're talking to an audience. I do this every single time just to clarify how much I know, like how many times I get stuck while writing, or like how many times I run out of things to write, or just like I cannot explain anymore because I know it in concept, but I cannot actually express it. And a lot of people think that, like, it's okay, like, because in some cases it really is like okay to live it intuitively, just like lots of fitness YouTubers or like fitness trainers, let's say, like they don't, most of the things that's related to activities, like you do it outside, you move your body and muscle, you use muscle, usually they don't like require you to kind of explain it well. Obviously, there are people who speak better than others, like those fitness influencers who speak really good at well, and they know what they're teaching, and they can explain well as well. But most of the times I do understand that living it intuitively, and just the feeling, and if you can execute it well, then it really doesn't matter if even if you cannot explain it, because most of the times, like, speaking really isn't the kind of like universal thing that you should be able to be good at. So that's why I gave an analogy. I gave writing instead of speaking. Writing, on the other hand, it kind of emphasizes the parts that you know. So you can see what you wrote, and you can clearly see, like, point out which things you clearly understand and you did not. You did not even get a grasp on, and you think that you understood. I think, like, that's the kind of fallacy of researching on by your own. Like, it happens most of the times when I try to dive in a topic that I really am not that familiar with, and I just get into like trying to record myself, but it gets me kind of like I don't know what to say anymore. Like, I get the feeling of try like get the pressure that I should keep on talking even though I don't know the topic. So that's exactly the reason why I'm talking about this specifically, because I think I talk about thought, like thinking, the conceiving an idea and like putting into thoughts and like writing. This cycle, I talk about this cycle a lot in my YouTube channel, but the reason why is because, like, every single time when I catch myself thinking too much, like when I'm being aware that I'm like to think overthinking about the things that I didn't even start with, then the trick that I not the trick, like the thing that use, like method that I use, is I just try to focus all my senses into the thing that I'm doing right now. And it sounds so obvious, but for example, like you have to sleep right now, okay? Then the only thing that I'm gonna concentrate and focus on is trying to go to bed and without anything, and just like leave there for like I mean lay on my bed for like 5 minutes, without doing anything, no music, nothing. I know it sounds obvious, but it helped a lot to me, especially to sleep early and sleep around 10 to 11 and wake up at 6 to 7, so that you get you get your body get used to the timeline, and by the time when you wake up and you see the sunlight, your body will produce more melatonin around 10 to 11. That's why I always try to sleep around those times. Of course, today, I'm gonna be honest, I failed. Yesterday I did sleep at 10, around 10, but I woke up at 8, and I was feeling way too tired, so tired. Maybe it's just because I just started this method, but like the point isn't the sleep, okay? The point is trying to just look at you as a character in a game. When you are playing a game, since everything's much faster in games, like you, for example, even if you play some games like that has stories like daytime and nighttime, like 1 minute is like a second. Most of the games, 1 minute is a real time 1 second. So you can just keep on constantly doing on like moving on to one, from one task to another and to another, and you don't feel exhausted. But in real life, what happens is like there's so many things that um how do I say, attracts you, not attracts you, but like intervenes your consciousness and your focus. Like just the act of like, okay, I'm gonna go back to home, eat, and then come out to get a haircut, or I'm gonna head to my home, my the school library, so that I can study there. It's simple. You just need to go back to your home, prepare for your lunch, eat, and like, it wouldn't take that long time if you could see yourself objectively, or if you could control as if you're a game character. But what happens is like you get back to home, you feel the kind of like not tired, but I think everyone will agree with this, the kind of feeling that your mind kind of relieves now. You want to just rest. You just want to like you sit on your chair, or like you want to take a simple nap, like a short nap or something. Like, you get what I mean. You don't get the exact kind of power, like willpower or anything. Like you don't want to like move that much inside your house, and the kind of feeling that you get when you get back to home. So you might spend like a couple of minutes, like waste a couple of minutes, or your actions wouldn't be as fast as you would do if you could just control your mind. If you could, yeah, you could just control your mind and yourself. And that's exactly why I think that just trying to focus on that one task, like one task at a time, helps a lot, like psychologically, because it's not even something that bothers. I don't think it like bothers that many people, in my opinion. Like, it really depends on who you are and how you've been raised. But I think that it's the kind of problem by you, if you're going through this, like you cannot actually like put it out, like tell others, since it's so embarrassingly small and it sounds really nothing. But it really is a huge problem if you cannot control your time and like I mean manage your time, and trying to just do the task that you have to do as soon as possible, so that you can get to the point where you can work on the things that you want to do for your own career, or like your dream, the kind of things. In my case, it recently has always been YouTube. I just come back to home from school, and like the first thing that I'm thinking is like, what am I supposed to write? And I just immediately come and I start writing anything about that comes in my mind. And if I see one topic, that'll be the topic that I'm talking about in my YouTube video in the day. And yeah, that's that. So like back to the main topic, the feeling that that when you are aware that you feel like you know too much, or like you're kind of being overwhelmed by your own thoughts, by the knowledge that you're constantly thinking, like sidetracking all the things that you're kind of like always comparing whether you're following this kind of rules that you read about yesterday in the book, like, oh, but like, like I shouldn't be thinking this way, since according to that I'm also failing in this, but fundamentally, since it does matter, like in according to that one. So like I don't know if you also have been through this kind of things, but for me, that's exactly the reason why I always thought that it would be great to have a pillar in your mind. Anything, it could be religion, but obviously religion in my word, I mean in my what how I perceive religion has always been just blindfolding yourself or just not being conscious at all. Obviously, I will gonna I'm gonna talk about this further in another video in the future. And when you feel like you know too much, it's obviously it's not the case. If you are smart, if being smart and being conscious about your actions and your own belief means that you'll get depressed, that means you didn't digest the knowledge well enough. You are not that you aren't like capable of it, but you aren't that at that level, but you are trying to absorb and trying to take like eat too much like too many things at once, but you cannot like you're not even actually going any deeper than than the surface. So you don't actually know, but you think that you know, since it's kind of niche in a sense. Like not many people even try to do their own research nowadays, since just following what the media and their favorite creator says is kind of like the easiest way to live your life. I'd say like it's I wouldn't blame them. I would obviously criticize it since it's just objectively wrong, but I wouldn't really criticize them with the kind of like like intensively, since I know like they're going through their own life. Like they don't really care. It's not the kind of things that many people care nowadays, and it's normalized. So I kind of get it, but it's wrong. You know, it's weird. It's wrong, and I think it shouldn't be normalized. I sidetracked a little bit, but yeah, that really is it about the when you know like when you feel like you know too much, but you aren't like you feel like you're not smart enough to kind of use it to advantage, then try to just pick a topic and study about that topic for a week. I don't know, you can pick a book around that subject and you can finish it in a week if you have time to. In my opinion, a book has always been kind of like I don't know about other people's opinion, but I really like classic and fiction books, since they help me much more to kind of conceive raw clumps of ideas, and I use those ideas. I translate it into words on my docs, into the docs. I type it out and how do I say, like I polish it numerous times, and that kind of becomes my own thought. I think that's how knowledge um, should be learned. It really helps me a lot. I don't know if it's normal, but it has like other than articles help a lot as well. Like for like fact check kind of things, like if this is actually legit or not. So it's getting a little bit monotonous. Yeah, thank you for watching the video.